Good morning from Precision Transmissions. It's Thursday morning. Yesterday it was 77. Today it's 25. Doors are all closed. Heaters are on, and but we're still warm. So, but luckily we get to heat our shop with all the tranny fluid and stuff that comes in our shop and stuff. So it's pretty cool. So we don't have a heating bill or anything like that. But we got Jordy's truck in here all the way from Louisiana. Man, we're excited to be able to do this job for him. We got his 246 GM transfer case over here. We got out that we believe it's going to have a few issues in it. We got to call him still and verify that we're going to be tearing it down and going through it and doing some upgrades to it. But we definitely got his tranny here that's weak. We're going to tear it down and see what it looks like. It is a stock unit. It ain't ever been touched, I believe. Got a standard TMBX converter. Now we're going to go into a little bit of detail on how the depth of this converter was in. In my earlier video, we talked about how we could have spaced this thing about 1/8 of an inch. Now can you see that shadow through here, Trent, a little bit? Mm-hmm. We could have brought that in a little bit more. Now when we get the pump out, we'll look at the pump gear and see where it's wearing there. And we'll show you a little bit more about this spacing we're talking about. Now we're going to get our lockup O-ring off here. Put it on the table. Go ahead and get this bell housing off real quick. Try to get this impact away from my mic as much as I can and kind of quieten it down for you guys. Some people say it's a little loud, but try to be a little easier on the trigger. So, go ahead and get our neutral safety switch and stuff off first. Go ahead and get our 13s off here. Get our 15 off here. Go ahead and pull the lever. What I like to do is take my file right here and try to file the edge on it. You can kind of feel just a little bit of roughness when they tighten that bolt down. It flares it out right here and it makes this hard to get off. So you're going to kind of lubricate that a little bit and pull that off. If you don't, you'll pry it and break the center of it, and then you'll be buying a neutral safety switch that wasn't bad to start with. Now we are going to put a lot of nice stuff in this thing. No billet shafts or anything, but all the bells and whistles other than that. So, all the way. Now it does not have a Corvette servo in this one. Now since this does have monster tires on it and all that type of stuff, we're going to be definitely modifying it. We got a new Corvette servo sitting here that we put in here. So all new accumulator pistons, stuff like that. We got our boost valve. We're going to be putting it Transgo boost valve. You can kind of see what the pan looks like in the magnet. Now this thing here will be going for more hard seals and stuff like that. I think everything's going to be drawled up really tight on all the seals and stuff. So when these things run hot, especially in big tires, temperature's going to rise, stuff like that. It's going to have a cooler on it too, so we want to get the temperature dropped down. Get the lockup system modified on it to where it'll hold a lot better and stuff. So get our PWM solenoid off there. Everything's unhooked. Got the late model pressure control solenoid there. This does not have a speed sensor in the pump. Now, if you notice, these gloves work really good. We have a video coming up here shortly dedicated to Annie. We're going to be posting. We're going to be talking about these gloves a little bit. I say I'm probably the hardest person with gloves when it comes to not wearing them before and then trying to wear them. So there's a big difference. Probably when you've worn them for a long time, you can be gentle on them and stuff like that. Well, I ain't figured out how to be gentle on much when it comes to just grabbing bowls and stuff like that, you know. So. Now you can see here, just because this is a updated pressure manifold switch, you can see all the O-rings are just all warped up and stuff. Now the kit comes with where we can rebuild these and put these O-rings back in there, but it's really cheaper just to get a new one and just don't worry about it. They're so cheap, you don't. It didn't have any codes for anything like that, but still, with the type of mileage it's on it, stuff like that. This is probably one of the least things that we buy electronic that we can put on that doesn't fail 2 weeks down the road. So everything else, it's kind of like, where do you go? So, and we buy solenoids and stuff by the bulk. I mean, in my earlier video, I talked about how we're having to buy parts and hoard them and just stockpile them on the shelves because we buy so much of it. My guys that I buy parts from will find them for me, and he said, Richard, we got 15 of them. Well, I said, I'll take all 15. He says, I'll get in trouble if I sell you all 15. I have to spread them around a little bit. I say, okay, send me 14. He said, okay, they're on their way. I say, thank you very much. So, let's look in here and get this forward accumulator and stuff apart here. See if it's plastic or aluminum. Of course, we got the good old plastic one. It's not cracked out, but it's really loose. It's fixing to start cracking down the sides and stuff. So, always update that to aluminum. You put a 500 boost valve in this thing, drop anything plastic in it, you're just looking for problems. Accumulator off here, set it there, go ahead and blow it out. It's got a plastic piston in it, of course. Nice one. Now we did get up early and went to IHOP this morning, so I got the shakes even probably worse. We had a lot to do today, so we had a lot to discuss before we even got to work. But you can see the difference in the shank that supports that piston when it slides up and down. That's why you always want to go to aluminum on these. I mean, it almost looks like that and starting to crack down in there. I don't know if you can see that down in there.
Let's see.
See that?
Yeah, almost. Really wore out.
Yeah. So, the inner bore looks really, it's shiny. Scotch-Brite's your friend. Look at your pin. Make sure it's not wore out too. So. I always talk in my videos, gravity's R&R guys' worst friend. Seems like if you can drop it, you can drop it. So, all the check balls look really good. Got a little bit of wear on this third accumulator check ball right there. Kind of peel this up, you can see it more. A little bit of wear, a little bit of wear. Like I say, when they get down like this and try to patch or repair all of these right here, I'd rather just put a plate in it. We got plates by the dozens that I buy. It's just easy to replace it. The 4th gear accumulator piston out. Like I say, this thing so far has just been stock. Doesn't look like it's ever been touched. Always look for fluid in here. Being that this is high mileage like this, just replace it because the fluid's coming sooner or later. It's just a matter of time. Yeah. And they're not, these ain't that expensive. It is when you buy 20 of them at a time, but if you buy one at a time, it ain't that bad. So we're gonna get our parking stuff out here. Grab my magnet. See if I can just pull that out. Nope, ain't gonna get that lucky yet. So let's get the pump out of it. Now this is a late model style pump gasket. It's a hard ring. They removed the groove from the pump body to put a hard ring in it. There's no groove in here no more for a soft rubber band style ring. They went to this right here. Let's see if I can get that out there. Yeah, it's a little stuck. I have to do it here in a little bit. I like to look at this stuff with that kind of mileage on them and just say ooh and awe, and just no damage hardly at all. It's crazy. He must have serviced this thing. They actually took care of it for the big tires on it, stuff like that. Starting to get some bushing wear. Definitely want to look down this tunnel right here and feel down in here because your center or your input shaft rings right there, run down in there. And then here we go again. Do you got a flashlight where you can see that, or can you see that, Trent? Now you can see here how that converter was barely stuck in that pump gear. You can see the bluing and then the shiny. That's all that pump gear was grabbing. All the way around, look at that. I mean, just barely grabbing. You can see it's even causing it to grab oddly. So this thing's probably wobbling. It's doing all kinds of stuff it's not supposed to be doing. That's why you want to get up here and grab that whole tooth right here. Space that converter up where it grabs it all. Now if we put a 500 boost valve on this thing like this, no doubt in my mind, we're going to have issues. You're going to have pump gear digging in the body because it's just going to be trying to do all kinds of stuff. So. Now this does have a cone style spring instead of a dual. If you ever get an earlier style with a single, you can upgrade it to a dual. Just stick a dual in there and you'll be fine. And then this pin right here, guys, you always want to check it for any type of wear. It rides on here. If it gets wear, this thing here will run crooked. So, and you can see here, they're bad about trying to work really hard on the rubbing. So, and you want to get your little spring out last, so you don't want to lose it. The pump body looks really nice too, so got lucky in these two pieces here. So we can get this off here. You always want to get this out first before you grab that and pull it. Because I'm telling you, you'll get this in such a big bind trying to get it out. You'll be grabbing a screwdriver and a hammer and everything else trying to get that out of there. Of course, we just have a stock band for this big old truck with big tires on it. So we got all of our band stuff over there soaking, so they'll be ready to go. Now this drums does have a lot of darkening on it, but it's just staining. You can't feel any of that. But you still want to, we use these little plates here to check these drums in 3 or 4 places all the way around to make sure that they're not bowed in. And this one here looks really nice. Look how flat that is. But we'll check it all the way around in 3 different areas just to verify that that drum doesn't have any warpage to it. And that wide band, like I said, that wide band will cover the whole drum edge to edge. So got your reverse clutch here. Bushings are really wore out though. They're almost as flush to the drum right here. The bushing that goes in here always has a step out inward. So when you can grab it and feel it, whether you can't even feel that there no more. But there's no grooves or anything in the drum with the rings run or anything like that. You always want to check this little bearing here, guys. This thing here will whine and park in neutral. And you're thinking it's a pump. So you always want to check this. Number 1. You'll think it's a stopped up filter. You'll think it's something else, and it won't be. Hey guys, I got a story to tell you. We had we did a job, and we had to pull it back out because it had a whine in it. It had a whine in reverse, and it had a whine in forward. Went to second, go away. Now we always update these to these new roller bearing input hubs and stuff, and that's I'll go here to it here in just a second longer. Let me finish with this part. But I just thought about it, and I want to definitely go into detail about it. Just got this stock 3/4 clutch. We're going to upgrade this to a Z-Pack. Get rid of that. We're going to save this plate right here. If you buy an Alto 14 clutch kit, it will not come with this plate. So we always keep these plates. If we can't get a Z-Pack, we have these plates in stock. Now, 90% of these trains come in with a 3/4 clutch burned up, so this plate's no good. So it's a blessing to, when one comes in here, to grab it and put it on the shelf so for the next job. All the load springs look really good too. Now we got our engine brake clutch. We got our forward clutch here, looks really nice. Like I said, the guy isn't abusive. I think he just drives it and looks good. The truck looks good. So, but then you never know. Some of these guys can drive hard, but if you know how to drive it, you don't tear up nothing, because some people can drive hard and wipe it out around the block. So, some people know how to drive and they'll last forever. So, especially when you overload them, stuff like that. Big tires and no gear change or anything like that. So you want to look at this race here all the way around. Make sure it's not grooved. Put a mic on it, just check it really good. Scotch-Brite's your friend. Look at both sides of these teeth and look for any type of pitting. Look at this hub here, right here. A lot of times this brass washer will wear this hub right here. This one still looks really nice. So looks like that'll clean up. So same way with this inner or outer race here, Scotch-Brite it up really good. So, okay, let's get into this planet down here. Stuff. Where did that thing jump to? Can you see where it jumped to, Trent? Right there? There it
Yeah,
is.
it's got to be over there. Yep.
Okay. So it went on the dark side of that shadow and is. Okay. Now what we got here is our forward planet, ring gear, hub, stuff like that. So anytime we get a flat washer style It looks like this. It's flat and it just takes a washer that sets on there. We always update it to a roller bearing. But guys, I always buy these brand new in a bag. These bearings right here and these hubs coming new in a box. And I put a brand new bearing on this thing and I put it in. And when I went and drove it, I could hear a slight dry metal sound. It was just like metal rubbing. And what it was this brand new bearing out of the bag was running on this shell right here and causing this shell to harmonics this bad bearing out of the tranny. So right when I took off, you could hear a dry sound. So we took it back apart and we started checking all the bearings to see if I missed something. And I didn't miss anything, but that new bearing out of that bag that I did feel I thought was good, I put it on there and I'll be dang, it wasn't bad. So we put a new one back in it, fixed it, fine, got it going down the road and they're already gone. So, but just like it goes back to products, like I say, you buy them new out of the bag and you can have issues with them. So we just got now this is a hardened shell here. It's a later model. We do have a little bit of wear here where the bearing runs. So we'll still put a new shell in it. They only heat treated the tip. They didn't heat treat anything down through here. So still have to upgrade that area. And then here we have our sun gear, same way. You want to look on both sides of these teeth for any pitting. Get our lower planetary and Bragg assembly out and our clutches. Got our little anti-clunk spring right there. Get this apart here and look at this stuff. It's amazing how good the hard parts look in here actually. Sprag racer looks really nice. Scotch-Brite that up. Put a new Sprag in it. The clutch surface looks brand new. Like I say, he's not abusive. So I think this thing just has a lot of seal wear and stuff like that, and it was just fixing to go down. He caught it way just in time. Low reverse clutch is starting to get really thin too. So I want to look at this lower planet. Oh, look at that, dude. It's wore plumb out. Wore plumb out. That one's snugger.
Solid. Mm-hmm.
So that's a little wobbly.
Mm-hmm.
But that one there, look at that, guys. Wore plumb out. You got to look at that stuff. Now, a lot of times when this gear gets wore here, you got to look in here. Because that gear is going to cock and it's going to put, if you look here, Trent, can you see how bad that ring gear's wore? Do I need?
In there. Oh,
So that one gear cocking and running crooked on this edge of this gear right here, you can see that ring gear's wore plumb out.
mm-hmm.
So you'll have a whine just even in that area right there. So big tires, a lot of force on gear trains, stuff like that causes that type of stuff. High mileage and stuff like that too. So this thing's pretty wore out. So we're going to get it put back together, a lot of neat stuff. I'm really excited to do it for him. I'm glad he brought it to me. We got a 246 GM transfer case. Hopefully we're going to get to do too. We're going to call him in just a second and find out. So y'all stay tuned. A lot more to come. Y'all have a great day.